Radio Raheem here with the ghost, Robert Guerrero. Robert, you're on another major card, man. I mean, this is, PBC's debut on Fox. You're fighting Danny Garcia. You seem to now be coming in, again, as the underdog, a guy that they're expecting to get beat. But you're in this position because of the way you fight, how hard you come in. But I know for you, just being a guy that performs well isn't enough. You want to be a guy that wins. How do you change that formula Saturday night?
Went back old school Robert Guerrero. Went and worked on a lot of my fundamentals, the basic fundamentals that I need to work on. Stacking the fights together and, moving up in weight and trying to be a bigger guy, it wasn't working. So we went back and really assessed my last couple of fights and, really thought hard of what we got to get back to. And, that's what we did. We went back and did a bunch of old school Robert Guerrero workouts and, old school tactics and back to the fundamentals, like I said. So, I'm excited. I'm excited because, being able to kick off, a big show, the first one in like 20 years on Fox for the World Championship, it's great.
Now, when you say going back to the old Robert Guerrero, we've seen a couple of kind of classic Guerreros, the guy who wants to go in there and mug you, walk you down, rough you up. And then, earlier you were looking more to box and like that kind of skill set. So what do you mean? Where are you taking this one?
You know what? You guys are going to find out Saturday night where I'm going to take it. But you know what? I'm prepared. I'm prepared to do everything. I'm prepared to fight on the inside, prepared to fight on the outside. If I need to move and use my legs, I'm ready to do that. So, it's like I said, get back to those fundamentals and, using all your God-given abilities, using your legs, your hand, your hand speed, your movements, lateral movements, just putting everything together.
Now, boxing is as much mental, if not more, than physical, people say. You know that Danny Garcia's had a tough couple of years as well, but he's still undefeated. Some of the fights that you lost, given a decision like he's gotten, you could probably have a couple more W's on your record. So when you get to the scorecards, it's not likely that they'll be in your favor. How much does that weigh on your mind, and is this the kind of fight that you've really got to knock your opponent out to get the victory?
It doesn't weigh on your mind at all. When you go in there with that weighing on your mind, you're constantly thinking about it. You just got to go out there and perform. Do what you do and do what you do best and execute your game plan. And, if the knockout comes, it comes. But, we're ready to fight 12 rounds very hard, and that's what we're going to do.
Your dad obviously just got into it with Garcia's dad. That's nothing unusual. But at this stage in your career, when you've got to kind of knuckle down and focus on what you need to do, is that all a distraction, or has it just been such a part of your relationship that you're used to it?
Oh, yeah. You're used to it, having your father, a live wire, firecracker with the short fuse, you get used to it. I grew up around it my whole life, and, you just let him do his thing. But you know what? You don't let that distract you. Angel and my father can, go at it all day, but at the end of the day, you still got to focus and know what you got to do in the ring and, go in there very relaxed and make it happen.
You're not an old guy, man. You're a relatively young guy, but in boxing, it's a short life. People are kind of framing this fight like, does Guerrero still have it? Can he continue basically this career? Where do you think you are in your career? And I assume you believe you still have it, so that being the case, what's your path back to the top of this sport?
Beating Danny Garcia, showing the world, that I still got a lot left in the tank, and that I'm fresh and my body's great, and got to go out there and make it happen. You're just as good as your last fight. My last fight was a rough, tough, barely edged out the win, and you got to go out there and perform, and you leave that for the critics and the media to judge you on that. So but the main idea is going out there and performing and making it happen.
Lastly, when you talk about going back and looking at your style, crafting a technique for this fight, obviously you've got to be studying your opponent too. Like I said, Danny Garcia hasn't had a great couple of years. We've seen some vulnerabilities. Have you seen them? And if so, what do you think are your best position to expose?
It's you see a lot of flaw in Danny Garcia's game, and you see some decisions that you might think should have went the other way, and he's had some rough, tough fights. So it's a matter of getting out there and putting your game plan and exposing all that flaw that he has and taking advantage of it. But if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. So it's staying focused and going out there and executing and staying on your game.
For those who think that you're a major underdog in this, like you say, you see flaws. What do you do better than him? Where are the flaws and your advantages?
Well, for one, I'm a left-handed fighter, and I don't think he truly understands how to fight a lefty. So, we're going to take full advantage of the left-handed style and, make it happen. So, there's a lot of things, in my game, in my arsenal that can give him a lot of trouble, but it's going out there and enforcing it.
And before I let you go up to that podium, man, Danny Garcia has never tasted defeat on the cards. He's never actually gotten an L. You've been through that. You've come out on the other side. You've been on the big stage, fought Mayweather. Do you feel like you're more mentally tough as your veteran nature, even as a young man, something that gives you a superiority over Danny, or at least an advantage?
Oh, most definitely, being mentally strong and, being able to overcome, come back from losses and come back stronger. It's what makes true champions. So, I know he hasn't tasted defeat yet, but we're planning to show him that, see how he takes it Saturday night.
Radio Raheem, but Robert, the Ghost Guerrero, good luck Saturday night at the Staples Center, man.